How dyspraxia can make you creative. Let's talk about it. And the obvious question is, what is dyspraxia? Well, dyspraxia, also known as developmental coordination disorder, is often perceived through the lens of its challenges, such as difficulties with motor skills and coordination. Now, despite this, there is a compelling argument that dyspraxia can also foster unique creative strengths. This seemingly paradoxical view suggests that the very struggles that arise from dyspraxia can create a creative and innovative mindset. So the obvious question in this context would be, what is the link? What is the link between dyspraxia and creativity? So let's try and answer this question. Well, people with dyspraxia frequently encounter challenges with physical tasks that others might take for granted. These can include everyday activities such as tying shoelaces, handwriting, and playing sports. Yet it's precisely because of these challenges that many with dyspraxia develop exceptional problem-solving skills. And this means they often require to find alternative ways to accomplish tasks that others do more conventionally. This necessity to think outside the box is a fundamental skill in creative thinking. So let's talk more about these enhanced problem-solving skills, and I think we're going to tell this story in animation. So someone with dyspraxia, the world isn't laid out in a straightforward manner. They must navigate a world designed by and for those without motor difficulties, which requires innovative thinking. This constant need to adapt and find new solutions to overcome physical obstacles can enhance what they call divergent thinking, which is a style of thinking that generates creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions. So as they regularly engage in creative problem solving, individuals with dyspraxia often develop an ability to see things from multiple perspectives, and this is a skill that's highly valuable in creative endeavors. So let's tell John's story. So who is John? John is a film editor, but he is not just any film editor. He sees edits like exquisite works of art. In fact, he sees the problem, an average edit, and creates the solution, a masterful edit. His innovative editing style is a product of his dyspraxia experiences. Without dyspraxia, John does not have his Salvador Dali edits. Without dyspraxia, he does not have this focus, this awareness to create this thing that is transformational. So there's a really important point to make here. What is that point? The point to make here is that John's relationship with dyspraxia is totally empowering. And that's really important to recognize. So now let's address increased empathy and emotional depth. So how could people with dyspraxia have increased empathy and emotional depth? How does this make sense? Well, dyspraxia doesn't just affect physical skills. It can influence social interactions as well. Important point. And individuals with dyspraxia may struggle with non-verbal communication and social cues, which can lead to a heightened focus on verbal communication and empathy. This increased sensitivity can translate into a deeper understanding of human emotions and motivation, which enriches their ability to tell stories, create characters, or express emotions through art, drama, and literature. So let's tell Sally's story. Her divergent way of thinking creates new ways of writing, but even more important than that is her empathy creates new dimensions to her writing. The way she sees and processes the story, and the way she tells the story, because she makes you feel like the character is in the room with you. Not only can you see them, but you can feel them, you can touch their emotions, their perspective, their tears, etc. And this creative output is linked to her dyspraxia. That is powerful and extremely empowering. So now let's talk about creativity in adapting communication. And guess what? We're going to tell this story in animation. So due to difficulties with standard forms of expression, many with dyspraxia become highly imaginative in how they communicate. They might use a rich vocabulary, storytelling, humor, or visual arts as an alternative way to express themselves. This creative communication often makes them excellent writers, poets, artists, and performers, as they convey complex ideas, but in unique and engaging ways. Now myself, I have dabbled in many creative endeavors, whether it's poetry, abstract art, beat making, doodles, animation, YouTube content creation, etc., etc., etc. And creativity has always been an important part of my life. But it's not until now that I understand the collaboration between dyspraxia and creativity. And I realize that this is a full, committed relationship. So let's talk about unconventional thinking. And this is really interesting. So the cognitive profile of a person with dyspraxia often includes a strong ability to think in an abstract and holistic manner. This means that they can excel in fields that require the ability to view problems from a global perspective, identify patterns, and make intuitive leaps. And these are essential components of the creative process in science, mathematics, technology, as well as arts. You know, when I think about this, what comes to mind is that it's two phases really. Phase one, this is a fascinating observation. It's an intriguing observation. But phase two, this is an empowering observation, because it's an observation that highlights the positive aspects of dyspraxia. So let's give some real world examples. And this is important because there are many successful individuals with dyspraxia which have turned their challenges. They have turned their challenges into creative strengths. For instance, Daniel Radcliffe, the actor famous for playing Harry Potter, has dyspraxia. He has spoken about the condition and how this condition has affected him, particularly in school and in education, but also how it has helped him shape his ability to portray characters with depth and empathy. Now Florence Welch, the lead singer of Florence and the Machine, has harnessed her experience with dyspraxia, and this has fueled her distinctive creative process, because dyspraxia, characterized by difficulties in motor coordination, has influenced Welch to approach songwriting and performing from unique perspectives. Her challenges with coordination and spatial awareness have deepened her emotional and sensory experiences, which have translated into vivid poetic lyrics that resonate deeply with her audience. And let's just talk about creativity for a second, because sometimes when I think about creativity, and maybe you can relate to this, you know, you think about creativity, but you don't define it. It's just something that you do. But what is creativity? And creativity is the ability to transcend traditional ideas, rules, patterns, and relationships, or the like, and to create meaningful new ideas, forms, methods, and interpretations. And what does creativity involve? Well, it involves originality, imagination, and the capacity to produce or bring something into existence that is new. And this new thing, whether it be a physical object, a conceptual idea, an artistic expression, or a musical expression, or an innovative solution to a problem, creativity is not confined in an artistic or scientific or mathematical endeavor. It is a universal process that can be applied in any context. And here's an important point. When creativity forms that relationship with dyspraxia, that is a relationship that is empowering. That is a relationship that really transcends to bring something prime and vintage in its creative output.